Radical equations, take two. This is the second time we've done this, but I'm going to do that second problem a different way so it doesn't take 12 minutes. Let's do it. Here we are doing example one is pretty simple. We're playing a game called Isolate the Radical Sign. This is the radical sign right here. So what I want to do is take this 8 over here. So I'm going to subtract 8 like that. And this is going to be -4 equals the cube root, that's called a cube root right there, of x plus 2. Now, to solve this, I have to uncube root it. And the way that like if I had to, solve the square root of x, I would square it to get x. Well, if I have a cube root of x, I have to cube it to get x. So I'm going to cube both sides like that. And on the left side, I'm going to have -4 times -4 times -4. That's -64. And on the right, all this would pop out, and the only thing that would be left is just x plus 2, which is easy sauce, right? That's a big bowl of easy sauce right there, because I just subtract 2. -66 equals x. Final answer. So x equals -66. And that's the first example, and that's kind of what the majority of this homework is going to look like. Now, you are probably sitting there thinking, well, that's too easy. Let's do something hard, and here it is. This problem took me 10 minutes last period to do it. Let's see if we can do it in half the time. Okay, we are playing Isolate the Radical. Everybody get into this problem here and pay attention. But we can't do that because we got 2 of them, and they're both different, and they're both on different sides. So bringing this over to one side wouldn't help at all. What we have to do is square both sides, like this. And that, my friends, is going to turn into FOIL on the right side. Over here, though, we might as well do the easy side first. That's just going to be x plus 10. Okay, so we're done with the left side. On the right side, it is going to be this problem right here. Square root of 3 minus x, and I'm going to FOIL it, so I need to write it twice, like so. And we're going to do first, outside, inside, last on this. Here we go. First step, 5 times 5, that's 25. Okay, not so bad so far. 5 times negative radical 3 minus x, well, that's going to be minus 5 radical 3 minus x. Now check that out. When you take a number times a radical, like for example, if I did 6 times radical x, well, that would just be 6 radical x. That's how that would work. So on this one, it's just 5 radical that, and it's minus because I got one negative sign, and that's positive. So that was the outside step. Now the inside step, it's the same thing. So I got a negative this times 5, so that's going to be another minus 5 radical 3 minus x. And then the L step of FOIL, the last step, isn't that the same thing? It most certainly is. So we're essentially squaring that. So it's a negative times a negative, which makes a plus. And then this thing times itself is going to be just 3 minus x. It's 3 minus x. So we're going to simplify this a little bit. So we got x plus 10 on the left equals, and now let's put everything together. So we got a 25 and a 3, a plus 3, so that's going to be 28. Okay, and then we'll do the other one in green. I have minus this, minus the same thing, so that's going to be minus 10. Negative 5 minus 5 is negative 10. Radical 3 minus x. Okay, and then don't forget about this little minus x we have here, so that's minus x. So get everything color-coded, and you can see what happened there. If you need to back that up, watch it again and back it up and become a serious math student. All right. Now we're back to isolate this radical sign right here. Okay, that's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to isolate this. So we're going to take the 28. Okay, watch. We're going to take the 28 and the negative x, and we're going to put it on this side. Okay? So if I do, here's my equal sign, and I take this negative x to the other side, I would have to add it. So if I add x to x, I'm going to get 2x. Everybody see that? So I got x and a minus x here, so I would have to, I'm basically skipping this step right here, plus x, and that would be 2x. Okay, so I don't want to clog all this up. Okay, there's enough work to be shown anyway. And this 28, I would have to subtract the 28 from both sides. You can see that. So what number am I going to get right here? Minus 18, right. And that equals, so the 28 and the negative x are gone, and we have this left. Okay, now, here is where the train fell off the tracks last period. Last period, I divided everything by negative 10 and got a bunch of fractions and had to FOIL the left side. Let's try this a different way this time. At this point, I'm going to square both sides. Now, I will have to FOIL that, but it's a whole heck of a lot easier foiling that than foiling stuff with fractions in it. And I'll have to square this too. Okay, this is gross, but we can do this. On this side, if I do right here, right, I should have enough room there. 2x minus 18 times 2x minus 18. That's this thing right here foiled. I'm going to get, I'll put the answer right here, 4x squared. That's the first step. Outside step would be, actually I'll go ahead and write it right here and then simplify it down here. So 4x squared minus, and 2 times 18 would be what, 36? So 36x. Inside step, negative 36x. And the last step is 18 times 18, which is 324. So that would be plus 324. And if we put this together here, that's going to be minus, what, 72? 72x plus 324 equals, so that was the left side. Now the right side does not have, everybody look at this, it doesn't have a plus sign in it, or a minus. This is just two things. It's 10 times that. So when I square this, it's going to essentially turn into negative 10 squared and then radical 3 minus x squared. Okay, so let's do that. What's negative 10 times negative 10? 100. And what is radical 3 minus x squared? 3 minus x. Let's do white. Excuse me. So now, let's see, I can go ahead and distribute this through. So I'm going to write this all over again. 4x squared minus 72x plus 324. We might have to continue this on another slide. And that would be, just distributing the 100, that'd be 300 minus 100x. Okay? And this is looking more and more quadratic all of a sudden here. I can take the 3, I'm going to set this equal to 0. That's going to be equal to 0 here. So I'm going to take the 300 over, the negative 100x over, carefully. So I have 4x squared. Negative 72 plus 100. That is plus, what, 28. 28x. And then the 300, this 300 is positive, so I'm going to subtract it and get plus, what? 24. Good. 24. Okay. I'm liking this. Because now, does this thing have a common factor? It looks like 4 goes into each one of these, so I'm going to divide all these by 4 just to make my life easier. Even though this is another step, my life will get easier because my leading coefficient will become a 1, and that makes it super easy to factor. That'd be plus 7x plus 6 equals 0. negative or 0 divided by 4 is, of course, 0. And from here, I can factor this. Or you could do the quadratic, or you could graph it and find the zeros. I do not care which way, but factoring is the fastest way, and that would be plus 6 and plus 1. So since this equals 0, what number would I put in these x's to make those equal to 0? What would go here? Negative 6, that's a solution, and here, negative 1. So the two answers, negative 6 and negative 1. And if you watch the other way to do it, you will appreciate just how fast that was. Talk to you later. See ya.